Yo, I just did a author interview with Book Reader magazine. Yeah, if you know what that is, it should be on their newsletter at some point within a couple weeks, is what it said. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of do my own interview right here on the channel, just for a kind of sort of long form video. I don't know. If you guys don't know, I'm an author. I do books and such. My first book, Into the Void Volume 1, is out on Amazon right now as a ebook or paperback. So yeah, if you want to get it, you can. It's an anthology horror book, but you'll actually hear about it in 1 second. So yeah, the first question that was asked was, "Tell us a little about yourself. Where were you raised? Where do you live now? Do you have any pets?" Yeah. So this is what I like wrote to answer it. This was a interview that it just gave you pre-made questions. You put it down. It was free to do, and they put it in their newsletter, and I thought it would be fun. So yeah, to answer that, I said, I was born and raised in Ozark, Arkansas. I've wanted to be a writer since I was 6 years old. My favorite book of all time is Moby Dick, which I read in the 3rd grade. I wrote my first book at the age of 14, but I had to wait until I was 18 to fully publish it. I love the horror genre and seek to be one of the greats within the halls of horror. And then the second question I asked was, at what age did you realize your fascination with books? When did you start writing? And I put, at the age of 6, I knew I wanted to be a writer. In 3rd grade, I wrote a small 20-page dragon guide, which I made one of my friends read to everyone because I was too nervous. At the age of 10, I wrote my first full-fledged story, which had over 50 pages. It was a fan fiction about Gamera, the kaiju. I put the kaiju in parentheses because I'm not sure everyone who reads, the newsletter that they put out will know who Gamera is. If you know who Gamera is, you're a real one, brother. And then at the end of this one, I put, at 14, I finished my first book. Now at 20, I am writing my first full novel, and I plan even greater feats for the future. And then the third one was, who are your favorite authors to read? What is your favorite genre to read? Who inspires you in your writings? And I put, my favorite authors of all time are Clive Barker, H.P. Lovecraft, and Stephen King. I do believe that Mary Shelley deserves more respect. And to be within everyone's top 5 at least for creating the sci-fi genre and cementing what the gothic genre would continue to be for generations. Also, George Orwell literally never missed when writing. I love 1984 and Animal Farm so much. The Odyssey is also one of my favorite books that I read as a child. My favorite genre is horror by far, but I also love sci-fi and fantasy. The more dark and twisted stories call to me, but I also love just how kind and hopeful some of these genres can be. Clive Barker is by far my biggest inspiration for writing. The idea for Into the Void Volume 1 came to me while reading Books of Blood. Cabal is an absolute masterpiece. Hellbound Heart is so beautifully demented, and Mr. Begone is such an interesting format and story. He's absolutely my biggest inspiration. And yeah, that's just me geeking out about a whole bunch of stuff. I've made full videos talking about Mary Shelley and just how much like love and respect she should be given just for Frankenstein. She wrote other books, but Frankenstein like defined what the sci-fi genre would be for basically forever. And it like I said, the gothic design and everything of the story within the story and everything is like one of the biggest inspirations for the gothic genre as a whole. Like that and Dracula are the two biggest like literary like inspirations on the gothic design. I will say that for the gothic like design like overall, you can thank the Catholics for most of that, because like it's all like their architecture and stuff whenever it comes to like the look of it. But yeah, Mary Shelley, great author. Frankenstein, one of the greatest books ever, not even just horror books or sci-fi books, just an amazing book overall. Yeah. And then at the very end, it says, "Tell us a little about your latest book." And I wrote, "Into the Void, Volume 1 is a 300-page anthology full of 18 horrifying tales. If you seek twisted versions of myths of old or all new original gods and beasts to fear, this is the book for you. If I hope you can stomach the terror within, dear reader." I was gonna do the full-on viewer or reader beware, you're in for a square and in for a scare. Almost said square. But yeah, I ended up going with, "I hope you can stomach the terror within, dear reader." I don't know. That might be my thing now. I might put that at the end of the synopsis of every book now. Kind of like I said, the reader beware, you're in for a scare. I love Goosebumps. R.L. Stine is also an absolutely amazing author. I'm pretty sure there's a list online, like in his wiki or something, where you can see the books he wrote and which ones were wrote by ghostwriters. Not like ghosts, but like, people who just write and don't put their name on it. Because a whole bunch of them were. Apparently, whenever it comes to like smaller, like, or bigger, like stuff like that for like the Scholastic Book Fair and stuff, like all those, there's a whole bunch of like books that are just written by ghostwriters that don't get their name out there or anything. And that's insane. I did not know that until like a year ago. But yeah, apparently a lot of, I think Animorphs is one of the only ones where the author like stayed on it like constantly and basically wouldn't let anyone else jump on it until like most of it was already done. I think is Animorphs still going? I do not know. Animorphs is a good book too. Those are freaking insane. But yeah, I just thought I would show you guys a little bit of the interview and a little bit of how it went. Like I said, if you want to see it, it'll be in the newsletters of Book Reader magazine pretty soon. I'll put Book Reader magazine in the description of this video so that you guys can get on it. If you're an author and you want to do an interview, like a smaller author, and you want to do a free interview thing that'll be put into a oh my god, newsletter. I forgot what they're called. It's a newsletter later. You just definitely go and do this. This was actually pretty fun. It was really fun to write out my whole story and everything. And it's good practice for if you end up getting big, because hopefully if you get big you'll have a whole bunch of interviews with like actual people, like in front of people. So this is just good practice. I tried to do just write it all out like I was just talking just for practice, but like some of them I had to switch up a little bit just because I didn't like how the format and everything was, or I didn't like what I said and had to change it just a little bit. But yeah, this is me. If you care about the like me as a person, yeah, subscribe. Oh yeah, Stories from the Void playlist on this channel has a whole bunch of my stories, a whole bunch of my stories from my Into the Void Volume 1, a few chapters from my new upcoming novel that I mentioned within that interview. So yeah, definitely go and check those out. I've got a whole bunch of comic books that I've made. Yeah, if you like any of that type of stuff, if you like authors in general, definitely subscribe. You'll see a lot more of me, especially when that novel comes out and everything. So yeah, like, subscribe, all that type of stuff. And as always, see ya.